Athletes, welcome back. We're changing it up on you a little bit, and we are starting a how-to series to answer questions or just give you some points of performance on movements that you may have questions about, and you either don't have access to a coach or a gym, or maybe it's too intimidating going to the gym. So we got your back. We want you guys to be interactive with this and give us feedback on movements you would like to see and questions that you have on particular movements. Athletes, welcome back. The arch nemesis of many CrossFitters is here today, the wall ball. So with the wall ball, this can be a love or hate, mostly a hate movement. We're hoping that when we get through this that you guys are gonna enjoy these a little bit more than you already do or that you don't at all. So we're gonna break it down from the very beginning and then we'll work our way up to the full movement, hoping you guys learn some things from this. So we're gonna bring Patience in. She's got the wall ball. She's using a 30-pound ball today because she said she wanted something that would be a challenge. So what we're gonna be doing is that first we're gonna drop that ball completely. We're gonna go through just the air squat with an overhead press. So what we're looking for here is that when we're doing the wall ball, it's similar to a goblet squat because we are front loaded, so that's gonna give us a little bit of a reprieve from having to stay balanced. So all we're gonna do is I'm gonna have Patience squat all the way down below parallel. She's gonna stand and then throw her hands overhead. She's gonna come back down and then she's gonna stand and extend, hands back down and squat, and then stand and extend overhead. A couple things, go ahead and relax. A couple things that I want you to think about when we're doing this is that we need to get our breathing timing down. With wall balls, people are so worried about a ball flying at their face and they're about to get knocked out, they forget to breathe. So there's very few times that you actually get to muscle fatigue or failure that causes you to drop the ball. It's because you've held your breath and you're out of breath. So we're gonna practice this drill again. She's gonna give us 3 and she's gonna breathe out as she goes up into that, out of the air squat in the extended position. So give us 3, you're gonna breathe out. Good, back down and breathe out and one more and great. So next what we're gonna do is that we're gonna grab the ball and talk about the positioning that we want. So Patience is gonna pick this ball up. Now with the wall ball, people will get uncomfortable with this, but it's okay for the ball to hit your chin or be in contact with your upper chest. A lot of times people think they have to lift the ball out away from them and that's only gonna fatigue your arms. So if I have Patience face the camera, what we're gonna think about doing is that we wanna tuck elbows in as much as we can and then keeping our hands on that ball. If we're chicken winged out like this, again, we're in a position where our shoulders are having to hold that versus being in a front rack where we'll be a little bit more supported. What we're gonna do now is she's gonna face this wall again, so she's gonna turn. We're gonna do the same thing before, so we're gonna do a wall ball thruster. She's gonna practice the breathing, so she's gonna squat down and stand, breathing out, good, and then back down. And up, and one more, and back up, and good. Drop the ball for me. So now, the same way that we modify our air squats, if you're having difficulty reaching depth, take another wall ball on a 10-pound high temp and use that as a target to go down to and practice these wall ball thrusters. We're gonna be in more control than when we're throwing the ball, and that's gonna help you feel how deep you need to get with this squat so that it can be counted as a valid rep. So we're gonna take the ball now and we are moving up to our target. Anytime you practice, if you've got a target mounted on the rig, take your J hooks out of the way because the second you don't catch it, it hits that and then bounces into you. It's the revenge of the wall ball. The next thing that we have is that Patience is gonna stand away from the target, which is gonna be right here, about an arm's length away. So she puts her arm out to where my hand is. If this was a wall, she would do the same thing. And what I'm gonna let her do is that she's gonna go ahead and get the ball into the position, and she's just gonna give us 3 wall balls, focusing on breathing every time that she comes out of that squat. When you're ready, Patience, go for it. Nice. Breathing out. And relax, set that ball down on the ground. Now, for any sticklers at home, our wall ball targets are mounted so the bottom of the target is at 9 feet. So if you're using a wall ball target and you're doing the games, you're doing the open, anything like that, they suggest having it at this height so that our ball makes contact with any portion of the target and makes it above the line. When we're doing wall balls in a typical CrossFit workout, you have a 9-foot mark and a 10-foot mark. If you're going to the women's height, half of the ball needs to get above the 9-foot mark, and then half the ball needs to get above the 10-foot mark for male athletes. So when we're going through this, if you're practicing your wall balls and trying to get better, we have an advanced version and then a beginner version. The beginner version is gonna be segmented. We're gonna have Patience go ahead, grab the ball. She's gonna squat down, throw it up, and then catch it without squatting. So it's gonna look like this. She throws it up, she's gonna catch, and now she's gonna go into her squat. She's gonna go again, and then receive, and then we're gonna go one more. We're gonna squat and throw it up, and then catch, just like that. Go ahead and relax for just a second. This is gonna be the version that you wanna use if you have the tendency to move your face out of the way because you're afraid of getting hit with the ball. This is gonna allow you to judge how you need to toss that ball against the wall, and you can be closer than what you think you are. If you're too far away from the wall, you're using excess energy to throw that ball forward. We wanna think about being close enough just so we can throw it up, it makes contact with that target and comes back down from us. The next thing that we're gonna do is that this is our advanced version. So our advanced version, you're gonna watch patience, and I'm gonna let her go on this one. We're gonna go 4 reps. She's gonna begin the squat as the ball is coming back down. So she's almost gonna receive it going into the squat. It's gonna look like this. So we throw it up. As it comes down, she goes into her squat. And as you get more comfortable with this, you're gonna find that you can begin that squat a little bit earlier. Go ahead and relax. As you kind of figure out the way that the ball is going to be moving. So that's the way that you can do it. It's less effort, it's more efficient because you're receiving that ball in a lower portion of the squat, which is technically 2 to 3 inches that you're not having to squat with the ball. So you can get that just to give yourself a small advantage. Now, arguably, if you know TJ from CrossFit Mayhem, this is where we have a complete coaching disparity here. I'm all up about arm swings. He loves keeping your arms up in the air. And I'm gonna give you this example right now. So I'm gonna have patients put her arms up in the air. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna talk, and I'm gonna waste time right now so that she leaves her arms up in the air, because the longer she does this, the more fatigued she gets. Also, the more the blood is draining out of her arms. So we have to think about in the wall ball a way to mitigate this fatigue, because this is a place that we can get a failure point. Your arm's starting to get tired a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop our arms. You are not holding baby Simba up in the air between your wall ball reps. So I want you to think about doing arm circles as we're receiving the ball. It can be as simple as just dropping your hands in between reps, but I'm gonna have patients practice that for me without the ball. She's gonna put her arms up in the air, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna think about doing a shoulder tap and then back up, a shoulder tap and back up. Now we're gonna do an arm swing. So just a small arm swing and back up, a small arm swing and back up. Now we're gonna do a big arm swing and then back up. Go ahead and relax. The differences between these two is if you're worried about the ball hitting you in the face, you just do the short arm drop. This is gonna help us from getting fatigued from leaving our arms up. As you start to do the arm circles, it gives you a second to kind of get a little bit of blood flow back into your arms so that they're not above your heart the entire time. So what Patience is gonna do, I'm gonna let her use the version of this that she wants. She's gonna do 2 wall balls, leaving her hands up in the air, and then we're gonna see her introduce that arm swing. So she's gonna go for it when she's ready. 2 leaving arms up in between, and then 2 with arm swings now. So she's gonna squat, cycle those arms out, cycle those arms out, and relax. So with the wall ball, you can customize this to what you feel comfortable with. The arm swing is something that I definitely have found that personally works really well for me, and it works really, really well with athletes that are doing large sets. If you're going into a workout that has a large number of wall balls, incorporate that swing from the very beginning, because you're gonna get a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of reprieve from that fatigue that is building. The last thing that I will say is that when we are going through our wall balls, too many athletes think about it being an only upper body movement. If you explosively come out of that squat and use a little bit of the stretch reflex out of the bottom, it will assist you in throwing that ball up the same way that we do a push press or a push jerk, and we use our lower body to send it overhead. If you tend to be on the fun size and you are a little bit shorter, then you may have to use a little bit of a jump at the beginning to get that ball to the target, and that is completely okay. But we want to think about trying to use the drive from our legs to send that up, and then use our jump as a last resort. I hope you guys have enjoyed this wall ball tutorial. We love having you. Give a round of applause, show some love for Patience in the comments. If you guys have any suggestions on other movements that you would like to see, please throw them in the comments below. And as always, remember, be good, be kind, and join us again for another fitness tutorial to make you a better athlete. Thank you.